welcome to another installment of Comparative Reasoning. Today, I want to give a little bit on how I feel about abortion. I've been thinking about abortion for many years. I have personally had one gripe with it, but that will be revealed later on. The controversies of abortion has run deep as they do shallow. This will include language that you may not wish to hear, and yet would not be lying if I omitted said language. One needs truth in life to make the best choices in life. I may not give you everything, but I will give you what I know. With that said, let the fireworks begin. First and foremost, abortions are a natural occurrence in life. Nearly all creatures, large and small, are capable of it without medical aid. The human animal is no different. Granted, it may not come in the form of merely altering hormones and rejecting the multiplying cells. What has been successfully performed for many generations were self-induced stress in hopes of deregulating hormones and thus abort early-stage cell growth. Other tactics have been bathing in saturated waters of salt, vinegar, sulfur, lard, and even bleach. Yes, bleach was used. The single most extreme tool used was a coat hanger. No matter what has happened, women and men alike have equally aborted children for the same reasons. You may wish to think it is not as such, but hear me out and see if some of these don't seem familiar. A female of 15 to 19 gets pregnant. You know when this happens, prom night or while on a private enough date while feeling okay with whom she is with. What is the fear? It isn't ruining her life or anything like that. Not so much. Typically, she knows her parents' heads will explode, and typically, this is a middle or upper class female, so being cut off of the family is a critical thing. Then, other future thoughts come into play as she frantically links being cut off to college funding, homelessness, unwed loneliness, and being a pariah amongst her friends, the same friends she may or may not reveal this to. One of them will inform her on where to go or what to do alone. This is why places like Planned Parenthood was key in society, so females in this predicament would not be alone and help was right around the corner. Let's take this from the guy's point of view. Of course he had a great time, and like any other guy, had to work really hard just to get her on a few dates, let alone many days thereafter. Once he finds out she's pregnant, like here, there are two switches that go off. The first of being a father and how great that could be, and then the more overwhelming fear of everything else. Yes, he can be cut off from the family as well. Plus, he has no money to take care of her and the baby on his own. The male will think about how his parents will react, being thrown out of the home and not helped by his friends who he would confide in first. They will undoubtedly tell him where to go or how he can get her to do it or do it to her himself. This is just one drawn-out example. The others would be abortions from close family, rape, failed contraceptives, and half voluntary peer pressure. That last one might seem odd to you. As time goes by, everything gets freakier. Frat parties, club parties, and typical house party can find two people making out and the crowd chanting for them to go further. Sex parties were a rarity not so long ago, but now are becoming a common thing. They may not want to in front of people, but saying no will place anyone on the outcast list quickly. No matter the circumstances, both sexes go through abortions. This is not limited to heterosexual couples. Two males wanted a child and found a surrogate. She was 20. She wanted to have kids but didn't want to raise them. They found it to be a perfect agreement. She was 4 months along when she was incapable of hiding it. Her family was ecstatic until she revealed to them what it was for. She had an abortion, the beating kind. This is not an isolated problem. Of course, she protected her family. A simple lie about early termination due to complications and rhetoric about not taking anything to term kept the peace. For those out there who read this, who has gone through it, I do apologize for strumming your life with my words, and yet, things like this need to be known. I hope you understand. The reasons for getting an abortion are plentiful, just as plentiful for choosing not to get one. The controversy comes into play when it comes to removing the freedom to choose. Each time there is an argument against abortion, it is clouded in religion. Actually, it is not religion so much as the people using their religion as a tool to control others. There are many people of religion who boast about having a choice, and they are drowned out by their negative compatriots. Thanks to the negative side of religion, most Planned Parenthood facilities have shut down in Texas, leaving hundreds of thousands without proper education, physical checkups, blood tests, and personal contraceptives. This has caused an explosion in birth defects and unwanted pregnancies, miscarriages due to lack of prenatal care, and pregnancies due to the withdrawal method only working for guys who know how they ejaculate. Planned Parenthood was used minimally for abortions because with education and advice, becoming pregnant became the choice, not going to term. For the negative religious people out there, keep your religion out of non-religious subjects and you'll do just fine. For the positive religious people out there, believing education and choice is at the forefront. Speak up and use your voice. Drown out the negativity. I say this to all religious and those without one. What is life without options? I tell you, a dictatorship. Fleeing Britain was for a desire to practice your own religion, not to repeat the very thing that caused the rebellious exodus in the first place. Besides, there are no unoccupied lands to flee to. When it comes to my personal gripe with having an abortion, it resides with people using it as birth control. Both sexes do this equally. It's the whatever mindset people have had for generations now. Get pregnant and go get an abortion and no one has to know. They want to have sex but can't get contraceptives because their parents will eventually find out. So they chance it. When the dice rolls in favor of reproduction, they just get an abortion and don't worry about anything afterwards. Note that I am not telling anyone to not use it as a form of birth control. I'm just stating my gripe. Stating one's gripe should never be used as stating control. If you do not like what is going on with your group, don't control it, leave it. Start a group of more like-minded people. It's not easy to do when you've become accustomed to the people around you, but subjects that are deep like abortion can't have people trying to work with a system that doesn't agree with them. They need like-minded support to help them get the former side to perhaps see their point of view. Logic, reason, understanding, and empathy are key to having an open mind and removing the combative part of us that is unreasonable. The reason I have this gripe is because there are not many abortions that a female can have before taking a child to term becomes compromised. Logically speaking, there is no need to risk such a thing. There are some subsidiary topics around abortions that capture my fancy, and yet I'd rather not tackle them until I see how people respond to this. Remember, I am not here to fit anyone's narrative. I am here to fit the truth into your lives. Clear the fog from your hues and give yourself the chance to see things clearly, or from an altered perspective. For those that happen upon this video and feel a certain way, leave a comment. If you like this video, check out my other videos and subscribe for future uploads. Thank you for listening.